This is the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, teach us His truth, according to the Bible we well. And now shall one know the sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing His truth through diligence and sincerity and charity. And now shall one know His sincere followers, believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, not just hearers of the word, but doers as well. You men, women, and children, hopefully elect, shalom. And another warning video lesson. Scriptures tell us to we don't take our time turning back to the Lord, because it's pending death and destruction that the Bible prophesies and talks about in these latter days. The Lord told us that these things will happen. So therefore, if you don't want to get caught up in these things, you have to turn back, do a 180, and conduct yourself as righteous as possible according to the scriptures. Sirach 5 and 7, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, because everyone thinks they have tomorrow. All right, let's get a quick precept. Everyone thinks they have tomorrow. Oh, what's that? Ecclesiastes 9. It's Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. It says, for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in the evil net, as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth upon them suddenly. That's right. The evil time falleth upon you suddenly. That's why the scriptures say, don't put it off from day to day. Right? Don't put turning back to the Lord off from day to day, because we don't know when our last day on this earth will be. Yeah, I'll get to it, this summer, or I'll get to it before the year is out. No, you turn back to the Lord now. All right. It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. Right. Just like the fishes that are taken in the evil net, suddenly. The bird and the snare and the trap, suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. And then thy security, things you find comfort in. Whether it's a house, bank account, food, all right, the amount of weapons you got stored up, women, whatever it may be, things you find security in, thou shalt be destroyed. It perish in the day of vengeance, and vengeance is on the rise. The vengeance of the Lord. Okay? And the Lord talks about His vengeance, and Second Ezra, matter of fact, let's go to 16. It says, Second Ezra 16 and 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? So Ezra, the prophet Ezra, is seeing a vision of these times that we're living in. And they didn't look so good. All right. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginnings of famine and great death. And the last video I did, I put a little still frame up, and that was from an article I had seen on the World Economic Forum, and they were talking about how there might not be enough food for everyone in 2023. Okay, and that's the, the people are not gonna have any excuse. Here it is, the prophets, start with the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down, are warning you, right? We are warning you of these bad times, of a famine, which is a lack of food, bread, water, okay, resources. And then you got Esau on the left hand side telling you these things, right? The beginning, all these are the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, great deletion. Now, aren't people being deleted? Aren't people dropping like flies? All right. From the fruit punch, right? Got speaking cold. Everybody took that fruit punch. Now they're dropping. It says the beginning of wars, right? World War III is prophesied in Revelation, the 11th chapter. The second war is past. Behold, the third will come up quickly. But yeah, our people are not turning back to the Lord. Our people are not seeking the Lord. It says, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Because they're going to come. That's why we open up with make no tarrying and turn to the Lord. So that the Yahweh Shem Shai can guide you through these tough times. What's that? Sirach 20 and 32. It says, necessary patience in seeking the Lord is better than he that leadeth his life without a guide. Right. And if you're not seeking the Lord, you're living your life without a guide. And you're going to be stuck out there, man, with no answers, not knowing what to do. You know what I'm saying? The Spirit's not going to be dealing with you. And you're going to end up taking that C hit, man. That Revelation 13. All right, back in 2nd Ezra 16 and 19 says, behold, famine and plague. See, the Lord keeps throwing that word famine out. All right, and it tells you that you're better off. Let me see, what's that? This is Lamentation chapter 4, verse 9. It says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for the fruits of the field. You see? You gotta understand that when the Lord said He's bringing a famine, it's going to do some damage to our people out here. Hey, call all y'all Bashim Shai 441. All right, 144, written the right way. This famine is gonna really hit our people. It says they that be slain with the sword, which any killing instrument, mainly the gun, the blinky, are better than they that be slain with hunger. And you gotta let these precepts sink in. Right? It says, for these pine away, stricken through for the fruits of the field. So your body's gonna constantly eat away at itself, craving the fruits of the field, craving food. All right, all because you chose not to turn back to Yahweh Shem Shai when the grace period was opened unto you, when the Lord has stretched out His arm to you. All right, and we'll end it off. Well, let's go back to 2nd Ezra 16, finish this verse out, and then we'll close out on one last one. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So these things are going to continue to happen until the Lord completely wipes 2/3 of His people from off the face of the earth. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 1, verse 5. It says, go thy way and show my people their sinful deeds and their children their wickedness, which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children. That's right, and that's what we do. We go and tell you where you're going off, man. The wickedness, but Jake don't want to hear it. But that's the Lord ultimately stretching out His hand. so that you can see where you went off, where you offended, and where you can correct yourself and repent. Right, the Lord stretched out his arm, but no man regardeth. It's the second Ezra chapter 1. And I started 24. It says, "What shall I do unto thee, O Jacob?" Which refers to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, you Israelites. "Thou, Judah, wouldest not obey me. I will turn me to other nations, and unto those will I give my name, that they may keep my statutes." Right, so the Lord's like, look, do I have to turn to these other nations? Because, you ain't cutting it right now, up until this very day. Verse 25 says, "Seeing ye have forsaken me, I will forsake you also. When ye desire me to be gracious unto you, I shall have no mercy upon you. Whensoever ye shall call upon me, I will not hear you. For ye have defiled your hands with blood, and your feet are swift to commit manslaughter. Ye have not, as it were, forsaken me, but your own selves, saith the Lord." So we're living in a time where if you don't seek the Lord's going to forsake you. The time for him to be gracious unto you, he's not going to show you any mercy. So that's something you got to consider and ponder on, Israel. All right, there is a consequence for not seeking the Lord. Shalom.